Hey guys, CoffinSkate here, and in this video I want to talk about some of my favorite games I played that came out last year in 2022. I know I'm doing this video towards the end of January, but hey, better late than never. Yeah, so now I didn't play through a whole lot of games that came out last year. As a matter of fact, like some games that I might have missed are like stuff like Valkyrie Elysium, Field Chronicle, like some Square RPGs that came out last year. Star Ocean, The Divine Force, as well. Can't believe those are the only ones I can think of. But yeah, needless to say, I did play some games I did really enjoy, and I just wanted to sit down and highlight them. This isn't gonna be like a top 10 or top 5 video, but I really wanted to sit down and share with you guys some games I played last year, came out last year, that I really enjoyed. So even if I put even if I didn't really put a whole lot of time into them, I figured I would just mention them here in a video. Um, so to start off, I'm gonna get some ports out of the way, or two ports out of the way real quick, because I think they're that good, and I think they're too good to not mention. Starting off, I have it up on my laptop just so I don't forget it. Inscription. This came out on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 last year, as well as Switch in like the last few months. And I gotta say, like, I mean, better late than never. I mean, this came out in 2011, or 2011. This came out in 2021. Um, but I saw it came out on PlayStation. Finally gave it a go. I was amazed by this game. I didn't end up finishing it until like a few months later. But I gotta say, Inscription just blew my mind. If you're not familiar with it, it's a card game mixed with a roguelike, mixed with a escape room. And I won't go too much in depth outside of that, because like I don't want to get too into spoilers, but I don't want to get too deep into the story. It's really just one of those games I feel like you just need to experience yourself. But yeah, it's a pretty in-depth card game. It works really well as a card game, and the gameplay is so good. I love the art style. Graphically, it has such a unique graphical style. I like these. I like how dark this game is, and yeah, if you never played Inscription, if you never played this game before, it's available on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch. If you've never played this game before, please check it out. And I also also remembered recently that Special Reserved is doing a physical copy of this on PlayStation 5, so I'll be ordering that soon. So, but yeah, next port I want to mention real quick is Nier Automata for the Nintendo Switch. Figure I'd mention this. I'd be happy to talk about this game any chance I get. Absolutely love this game. As I might mention this. I've mentioned this before. Nier Automata is my favorite game of all time, alongside Persona 5, Royal, and Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like a toss between those three. And just this game blew my mind when I played through it on PlayStation 4. And needless to say, when it came out on Nintendo Switch, when this game got announced to be coming out on Nintendo Switch, I nearly lost my mind, especially considering this is a native port, unlike certain games that came out from Square last year on the Switch that should have been native ports, but I'm not going to say any names, but yeah, this was a native port on Nintendo Switch, and I haven't finished this version of the game. I gotta be honest, I haven't really finished anything on my Switch, but this is a native port on the Switch, and it plays beautifully. It looks really good for a Nintendo Switch port. Now, if you're going to play this specifically at home on a console, if you have the choice, go with the PS4 version, especially if you can play it on PlayStation 5, or go with the version on Xbox One, especially if you can play it on Series X. But this is still a great version of the game. Like, if you're going to play it on the go and whatnot, this is a great version of the game. It runs really well. There are some frame rate dips, but otherwise it plays really well on Nintendo Switch. It looks really good. I've been playing on the OLED, and it looks gorgeous. So, if you haven't played Nier Automata and you are looking for a solid version of the game, specifically if you play on Nintendo Switch more than anything, this is a great version of the game. So, yeah. All right, now I'm going on into games that came out last year that are like brand new titles. Starting off with Pokemon Violet. I didn't really get too far into this one. I haven't really been playing it a whole lot, but definitely been meaning to play more of this. I have a friend who's been wanting to trade some Pokemon to me, so but yeah, Pokemon Violet. Now, granted, I'm playing this a few patches in. Like, a few patches have been released since this game has come out. From what I played of it, yes, the frame rate is all over the place, and yes, the game looks like shit, and I haven't really noticed a whole lot of glitches, but again, I've been playing it on a more recent patch. So a lot of the patches that have come out, or a lot of the glitches that this game may have had, are probably patched in the version I'm playing. Um, but from what I've played of it, it's a pretty solid game. I am enjoying what I have. I like what I played of it so far. Um, but I do feel this game could have used more time in the oven, honestly. Just because of the state this game released in. This game shouldn't have been. And honestly, I'm the kind of person who a lot of the glitches that were reported in this game. I'm the kind of person who is willing to look past glitches if it doesn't really interrupt gameplay or anything. However, just because I'm that way doesn't mean everyone else will be the same way. So I would totally understand why people would absolutely hate the way this game shipped. I absolutely agree. This game shouldn't have shipped in the way it shipped. Let me put it to you this way: I prefer a more stable game and a more as close to a bug-free game as possible than anything else. I prefer the game to be more stable and a lot of glitches, near glitchless for the most part, over a game that's really buggy and glitchy at launch. So that's where I'm at with this game. Again, I haven't gotten that far into it, but I do like what I played of it. I like some of the stuff they have in this game, like being able to send out your, like the main Pokemon or whatever. Like, you can have like a leading Pokemon. You can throw them out, and they can like wander around with you. I think that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, and Rhydon is so cool, honestly. So, but yeah, okay. This is more like a remake slash like I guess you'd call it a remaster. I don't know what you classify it as. But Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series for PlayStation 5, also available on PS4, Xbox consoles, Nintendo Switch, PC. So I wanted to highlight this because this is the very first time I ever played Klonoa, and I never finished. I haven't finished any of the games on here. I haven't finished the. I've gotten most of the way through the first game, but I gotta say, from what I played of that first game, it is incredible. It is super fun. It's a game I can't like not be mad at playing. Like I don't really get mad at playing this game. I have just a lot of fun playing it. It's such an adorable looking game. It plays very well. It plays at locked 60 on PlayStation 5. Looks really good for a remake as well, like for a Unity game. And yeah, it's a really fun game. I really like it. If you haven't played this yet, it is really worth checking out. I don't remember how much this game normally goes for, but I would say it's absolutely worth it. It is a lot of fun. If you've never played this yet, absolutely worth checking out. Okay, so this game, um, again, kind of ashamed that I haven't played this game as much as I haven't played this game as much as I would have liked to. But Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin for PlayStation 4. I also got the PS5 upgrade for this as well. So if you're not familiar with this, first off, have you been living under a rock? Secondly, this is a Souls-like action RPG that is like a reimagining of the original Final Fantasy. You could almost call it like a remake, but not entirely. Um, but yeah, it's just a retelling of the original Final Fantasy, but it's a lot more dark. It's a lot more edgy. Um, those of you who've seen memes of this game and like clips of this game, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot more edgy. Um, and Yeah, from what I played of it, it's a really solid game. I've been playing it on the hardest difficulty, or on hard mode. I don't think chaos difficulty is available yet. From what I played of it, but yeah, I've been playing this on the hardest difficulty, and it can be brutal. It took me a million tries just to beat the first main boss. So, but it's a really fun game, really challenging. I personally love how ridiculous this game can get with its plot and its characters, and it's one of those games where I feel like it's so bad it's good with its dialogue and all that. It's just really ridiculous, and yeah, from what I played of it, it's a really solid game. One thing that I find interesting with this version of the game is that you can transfer your save data from well, okay, you can transfer your save data from PS4 to PS5. It also works vice versa. So you can transfer your save data from PS5 to PS4, and your trophies carry over from PS4 to PS5, and vice versa. I found that interesting. So this isn't the only game that does that. Both Neo games do that, and Guilty Gear Strive, I found out does that too. So, but yeah, Stranger Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, pretty solid game. Music is really good. Gameplay is pretty solid, and yeah, if you like Souls-like games and you like Final Fantasy, this is I say you really can't go wrong with this. All right, KOF 15, King of Fighters 15. This is a fighting game I played actually a little bit of. I didn't really play a whole lot, but this is a fighting game I played a fair amount of. Had quite a bit of fun with this. I'm not like the best at this game, but it's a pretty fun game if I played of it. So yeah, it's really fun. Graphically, it looks really gorgeous, and yeah, I also found out that I also discovered that like doing like super cancels and what's it called, climax cancels. I forget what advanced climax cancels, whatever the fuck. I realized it's super lenient with that stuff as well, and like doing supers and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's a pretty solid game, pretty fun. Um, yeah, I like character designs. Soundtrack is bumping as well, and yeah, KO 15. So I bought the PS4 version specifically for the because like PS4 games, when it comes to fighting games that came on both PS4 and PS5, you get better input delay or like less input delay on the PS4 version when you compare it to the PS5 version. I realized after the fact that the input delay between PS4 and PS5 and PS4 PS5 backwards compatibility was like nearly identical. But at the end of the day, it ended up making sense. I bought the PS4 version instead because I've been going to local fighting game community meetups, and they always run a tournament of this. So, and because of how the PlayStation 5 is designed, you can't use PS4 controllers to play PS5 games. You can use PS4 arcade sticks to play PS5 fighting games, but it's still annoying as hell that you can't play PS5 games, like regular PS5 games, with a normal DualShock 4 or anything like that. So really annoying, but I hope, I don't think it'll happen, but I hope they decide to do like a 180 on that and make PS4 controllers work with PS5 games, because honestly I feel like if it's because of the DualSense features, I feel like the DualSense features are like, there are a lot of games I've played on the PS5 that can be played without them, but honestly that's a topic for another time. But KOF 15, really fun game. A game that I also, another fighting game that came out last year that I also got as well was DNF Duel. I didn't put a whole lot of time into that, but it's one I still wanted to mention anyways, because it is from what I played of it, it's a pretty solid fighting game. So yeah, and it's an Arc System fighting game. So all right, next is Sonic Frontiers for PlayStation 5. So I put a couple hours into this, and you know, I figured this would be a game I should mention anyways, even though I haven't put a whole lot of time into it, because I also don't want to piss off the Sonic community, but honestly, it's the Sonic community. But from what I have played of this, it's pretty good. You know, I don't think it's Game of the Year worthy, me personally, but it's pretty good. I think the sort of open zone, like what they were working with the open zone aspect of the game, I think they did a pretty solid job with that. The levels I played in this game so far are pretty fun as well. Graphically, it's not like the best looking game by any means. I mean, I know this. They also had to get this working on Nintendo Switch, but I feel like this could have looked better for a PS5 game as well. Um, yeah, gameplay is pretty solid so far. I like the light RPG elements that this game has, and combat is also really fun in this as well. So, yeah, Sonic Frontiers, pretty solid game. One thing I absolutely have to highlight with this game, the music. The soundtrack in this game is incredible. Highly, if you have no plans on playing this game, go look up the soundtrack on YouTube. It is really good. So, especially the boss music. The boss music in this game is incredible. So, like I was saying in my game collection update, the fact that they basically just made metalcore songs for the boss music in this game is amazing. So, and I love metalcore music a lot. So, but yeah, Sonic Frontiers, really solid Sonic game. Haven't finished it yet, but it's definitely on the bucket list. All right, I got it. I gotta admit, I haven't finished God of War Ragnarok yet. So, yeah, I haven't finished this game yet. But I think part of it is because I ran through God of War 2018. Like I just ran through God of War 2018 just so I could know what the fuck happened in that game, uh, just so I can go into this game without without being kind of clueless on the plot points. So yeah, that's it. Might be because of that. I might be like a little burnt out to some extent on the gameplay. Like I might just need a little bit of a breather before I come back to this. But from what I've played of it, it's a really fun game. The combat is just as fun as it was in the first game. Um, Graphically, it looks gorgeous, and it plays beautifully 60 FPS. I'm playing it in the frame rate option, but when you bump it up to the graphics option, um, it looks gorgeous. Like, and I mean, yeah, it looks amazing in the frame rate mode, um, but in the resolution mode, I think they call it. I can't remember the exact name, but in the resolution mode in this game, it just looks stunning. Like, just easily without a doubt one of the best looking games I played from last. Probably just one of the best looking games I ever played. It's just such a gorgeous looking game. So it's really fun. Soundtrack is really good so far. Gameplay is a lot of fun, and yeah, it looks gorgeous. Really enjoying it from my play of it. So yeah, my apologies for the glare. Um, okay, so this I haven't finished it, but I got quite a ways through it. I got like 40 plus hours into it. I figured that was like at least a good amount of hours to really say, yeah, this is a game that I can safely recommend. That is Soul Hackers 2 for PlayStation 5. Also available on PS4 and Xbox and PC. So Soul Hackers 2. Brand new turn-based RPG, part of the Shimigami Tensei sort of universe. Sequel to Soul Hackers, which originally came out on the Sega Saturn and got re-released on 3DS. Um, so at least I think it came out on Sega Saturn. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. But yeah, Soul Hackers 2. So what are my thoughts on this game? I think it's a solid RPG from my played of it. Granted, I don't really see myself doing like another playthrough of this. But it's a solid RPG. For my play of it, I give it like at least an 8.5, like 9 out of 10. Like, I love. First off, like graphically, I love the way this game looks from a visual standpoint. Love the character designs. Soundtrack is really good. Realized the music in this game was done by Keiichi Okabe, who, as you guys know, did the soundtrack for the Nier games and basically anything Yoko Taro. So he also did music in Tekken, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, this game's music is done by Keiichi Okabe and like his company. So, and I gotta say, the music in this game is really good. Like some of the music in this game has like Nier vibes, especially in the when you go to the it's not Soul Matrix. I think it's called the Axis. I think I can't remember the name of it, but music has such Nier vibes. So battle music is really good as well. It's like this hard rockin' track as well. And yeah, battle system is really fun. It's the typical sort of uh, exploit enemy's weakness. Typical SMT affair. However, it doesn't have what's I want to say it's called the press turn system. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. But like, it doesn't have the press turn system from the Shin Megami Tensei series, the Persona series, like the One More system. Um, Instead, this game adopts a system where when you exploit an enemy's weakness, you uh, all the demons you have in your in stock, you kind of stack them, and after all your party members' turn is over, because it goes through all your party members' turns at once. Um, it goes through all your party members' turns, then it's the enemy's turns, then vice versa. Once it goes through, once you do all your party members' turns, then it ends with something called a Sabbath, where all the demons you have stacked do like this follow-up attack. So, and admittedly, it can be really satisfying when you get like a 10 stack or anything above that. Um, so and like at first you can really only stack up to 4 demons, but eventually you get abilities that allow you to stack more demons and whatnot. So, and then it has like the typical fusion, demon fusion aspect of the game. And getting new demons out in battle or out on the field is much different than in like the Persona series and the Shin Megami Tensei series from the ones I've played. Instead, you find demons out in the field that are in your party, and you find one. They say, "Hey, this demon wants to join us," and all that shit. And yeah, you kind of negotiate from there. So it's fairly different with how you obtain new demons, and yeah. So, but it's a really solid game. I also think, yeah, the way you have or demons work in this game is kind of like the Personas from the Persona series. Um, so like you have 4 party members, but each of them can have like a demon equipped, and that like changes their stats, changes what they're weak to, what they're resistant to, and all that shit. So, but fairly interesting. So has some really interesting mechanics, and it's a game I'd definitely like to finish at some point because I do like what I've played of it so far. Just yeah, I guess kind of got caught up with other stuff. So, but I'd say it's worth checking out. So I don't think it'll blow anyone's mind, but it's pretty solid for my play of it. So, you know what? Before I forget, I might as well also mention this Persona 5 Royal for the PS5 also came out on Xbox consoles and Nintendo Switch. Best way to play Persona 5, well, on consoles at least. Um, Obviously, the way to go is PC version. However, if you never played Persona 5, PlayStation 5 version or the Series X version is a great way to play it. Plays at 60 frames per second, has all the DLC on the disc, minus the Raito Kusunoa DLC, because like stuff with Korea. But yeah, it's a great version of the game. Like, if you never played Persona 5, this is the version to get. So yeah, whether it's the PS5 version or the Xbox version, the Switch version is also really good from what I hear. I only have the PS5 version, but it's a great way to experience Persona 5. Highly recommend it. So yeah. I also feel like the Steelbook edition for that will become pretty rare and expensive down the road. I've already seen like it's kind of like sold out in a lot of places. So, and like currently in some places you can only get like the standard edition. So I feel like I feel like the Steelbook edition for that game will be pretty rare. All right, next, Ghostwire Tokyo. This is a game I did finish, and or one of the few games that came out last year that I finished. I love this game. I hear that this game kind of has like a game that was kind of forgotten about after a while, and I have heard that this game kind of got like mixed reception with some players. I actually loved it. I loved this game. I loved this game's sense of style. Graphically it looked gorgeous. The combat was a lot of fun. Um, and love the enemy designs. Really reminds me of like some urban legends. Like, for those of you who know the famous urban legend Kuchisake Onna, the also known as the infamous Slipmouth Woman. There's an enemy that's basically that urban legend. So and yeah, it's yeah, I love this game. I like the soundtrack. Like I said, combat's really fun. The story was fairly interesting. It wasn't like it, I should say it's enough to motivate the player, but it's not going to win any awards in terms of the plot. But yeah, I love the world. I like to describe this game as like a mixture of Shimigami Tensei. It's going to sound like a weird comparison, but Shimigami Tensei and Silent Hill. So so yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, I would say it's worth giving it a go. I'd probably say wait till like this till you can find this for like $20. I got this on sale for like $30, but yeah, if you can find this for like $20, it is absolutely worth it. So, but yeah, it's a game that I actually really enjoyed. So yeah. All right. Of course, I can't make favorite games of 2022 video without mentioning Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I platinumed this game, and it's amazing. Like, this is the best way to play Crisis Core. Period. You know, I love the original Crisis Core on PSP. It was a amazing action RPG, and this game just fixes like for one, the gameplay is a lot more fast paced than it was in the original, mainly because they changed they changed quite a bit about this game with its combat. For one, it's not like all your commands are like it's not like switch between all your commands and whatnot. No, instead you have a dedicated attack button, and your attacks. They changed your attacks, your basic attacks, so that they come out much faster. They are much more faster and all that shit. Um, uh, all your magic commands and whatnot are like shortcuts, like how they would be in like any other RPG or like any other action RPG, like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts games. Um, and then when you don't have the shortcut button held down, you just switch between all your items to heal you and whatnot. So, but yeah, combat for the most part is pretty much the same. However, also the digital mind wave system is nowhere near as intrusive as it used to be. Um, uh, yeah, like the most intrusive it will get is showing cutscenes. Like that's it. It won't like interrupt gameplay when it goes to the modulation phase or power surge or all that shit. Um, so like yeah, the most interrupting it will do is like showing cutscenes of like memories, and those are skippable as well. So, um, but yeah, it's and of course I can't talk about this without mentioning the huge graphical upgrade. Graphically, this game looks amazing. Like it's a stunning looking game. So, but yeah, like combat's really fun. Looks stunning. Soundtrack is as good as always. They even remastered some tracks, and those sound really good as well. Um, and also, I've seen some people say the missions are repetitive. I absolutely see that. I personally found the missions to be super addicting, especially when you get to the point where you get items and gear and materia that just allow you to become so overpowered in this game. Um, like, and I will say, leveling in this game is not as random as I remember it being, because this game has like hidden experience points that the game doesn't. The game doesn't have like a thing that shows you how many experience points you have. Um, but yeah, this game has like hidden experience points, and yeah, once you reach a certain amount of experience, the game will basically say, okay, now it's about this. Now it's about time for this person to level up. So yeah, once you get like 7 zeros or 3 sevens, it's like late at night. But anyways, once you get like 3 sevens, um, then you'll level up. So, but yeah, it's not as random as I remembered it being. However, they might have changed it for this game, but I don't know. But yeah, leveling. I don't remember leveling in this game is not as random as I remember it being. As a matter of fact, like by the end of the game, because I did all the missions and whatnot, I reached like level 95 by the end of the game. So yeah, And then I went to New Game Plus, ran through that in like 2 hours, so in one sitting as well. And yeah, it's a great game. If you never played Crisis Core, this is the way to play it. Only problem I have with this, the voice acting is very hit or miss. It's like the main complaint I have. The voice acting in this game is very hit or miss, especially for Zack. Some of the other characters are better acted. Like Cloud, I felt had better voice acting. Same with oh god, what's her name? Aerith. Aerith Sephiroth. Genesis was also pretty well acted. And Jill was also had pretty good voice acting. So I would say the voice acting is very hit or miss. But everything else about this game is just amazing. If you never played Crisis Core, check this out. It's available on everything. I got it on PS5, and I will absolutely buy it on PlayStation 4 to platinum the game. It was also available on PC, Switch, and Xbox consoles. So yeah. All right. Now we get into my game of the year, and I get nowadays that it's kind of like cool to hate on this game because it's popular, but I feel like this game absolutely deserves the love and appreciation it gets. Even if I wasn't into this game, I would at least be willing to acknowledge that this game is absolutely, well deserving of the love and appreciation that this game gets. And yeah, it's um, this game. It's just the culmination of everything this developer learned from all their previous games, just melded into one game, and it just makes a amazing and complete package that if you've not played this game, this is like an absolute masterpiece that I cannot recommend enough. My game of the year is none other than Elden Ring. This game, and yeah, this goes to show, I bought the PS4 version first because I didn't have a PS5 at the time. But I love the game so much I bought a PS5 copy. So this game blew my mind, and I think what also helped was that I I went into this game like nearly blind. The only trailers I watched were trailers that they played during during like live streams and whatnot. I didn't watch, maybe watched like a little bit of the gameplay demo they showed off, but that's about it. I wanted to stay as far away as possible um, from this game and just previews and whatnot. Honestly, kind of glad I didn't get into that network test, um, but yeah, this game is just a masterpiece. Like, it plays beautifully. Like, it's a gorgeous looking game. The combat is a lot of fun. It's the usual Souls-like gameplay, um, but it's so deep with how you can build your character. The exploration is just second to none. What also makes this game so good is, I'll just hold up one copy here. So what makes this game so good is that this game, it's for the time when this game came out, this is an open world game. And at this point with open world games, we've seen so many come out within the past like 5-10 years. That it's kind of like when a developer announces that their game is open world, it's kind of like nothing special. This game comes out, barring Breath of the Wild. This game comes out, um, and unlike other open world games where it's like telling you what to do every 5 seconds, has like very cluttered HUD, and it has a mini map, kind of tells you, or kind of has all this bullshit and just all this meaningless content and whatnot. That's kind of like it becomes overwhelming. This game comes out, gives you a hints on where to go, but doesn't tell you have to go there immediately. This game it drops you into this game. It drops you into the world, gives you hints on where to go, and then it's all like, hey, just, like the game doesn't tell you exactly where to go. It just gives you hints, but that's about it. Otherwise, the game doesn't limit you on where you can go. You can go off to, you can hop into the open world. You just drop into the game, and then if you wanted to, just go straight to Caelid, aka Hell. Those who've played this game will know what I'm talking about. But if you wanted to, you just go straight to Caelid if you wanted to. Just get your ass whooped by every enemy in that area. So the fact that this game just drops you into a world and doesn't tell you every 5 seconds what to do, or like your character is all like, hey, I should go explore that, or hey, I should go do this thing and whatnot. Like the fact this game just doesn't limit you on what to do, is I could see it being a little overwhelming for some players maybe, but otherwise just the sense of freedom of just being able to go where the fuck you want, without the game telling you every 5 seconds what to do, is just so refreshing, considering that that's not how open world games have been. And just the freedom of, being able to build your character however you want. If you're wondering how I built my character, I mainly just put points into vigor, vigor with a V. Um, uh, yeah, vigor, fucking strength, dexterity. I forget what the other one was. Endurance. That's the other one. So I kind of went with more of like a strength, sort of like a melee class build specifically. That's the kind of way I like to play Souls-like. So, and also that's just another thing that's so great about this game. There's no right or wrong way to build your character. You can build your character in just a completely nonsensical way, make it just to kind of give yourself a bit more of a challenge, or you can just you can do what I did, go for like a more melee based build, or you can just um, some people say this game doesn't have an easy mode. There technically is in this game. It's called Make a Magic Build. Make a Magic Build, you'll absolutely annihilate this game. So, not say it'll still be hard, or not say it'll be easy. It'll still be a hard game, but you'll have an easier time if you just make a magic build. So, just something that I feel like some people don't understand. But, anyways, no, this game is gorgeous. The boss fights are amazing. The soundtrack is incredible. The character customization in this game is incredible. The the uh, the sheer freedom that you have of just the freedom you have in this game for it being an open world game is incredible. The and just the way you can build your character, just there's no right or wrong way to build your character. It's just a solid, incredibly amazing action RPG. And like the one thing I will say is that I do like Bloodborne better, but only very slightly. It's mainly because I find the world setting, the lore, and the world setting and the lore to be a little more interesting, and I found the bosses in Bloodborne to be a little bit more memorable. Other than that, if it weren't for that, this would easily be my favorite Soulsborne game, without a doubt. It's just a masterpiece, and just and also what might have helped with how much I enjoyed this game was, and this isn't to brag or anything. This is more of like a personal accomplishment kind of thing. I ran through this game solo, completely solo. I didn't use Ashen Remains. I didn't summon players. I didn't summon NPCs. Every boss I fought, every single boss, I beat solo. Um, and there was one time where I did use Ashen Remains, but I didn't beat the boss that time. I still got my ass whipped. I used like some wolf Ashen Remain on some tree sentinels, but I still got my ass whipped. I still beat that boss solo. So, but that was the one instance. The only reason why I used it was because I had no idea what the fuck they did. Because I also turned off the tutorial hints in this game. And that's why I did not know about the guard counter until like hours later when one of my siblings, who I bought this game for myself, one of my siblings, I did not know that the guard counter that guard countering was a thing until like hours into the game. So, um, but you know, this will be a game that I will remember for the rest of my life. This is such a memorable game. If you've not played Elden Ring, it is a absolute must buy. It is a masterpiece. Cannot recommend this game enough. I will say this. Oh, you know, one more thing I'll say about about me finishing this game solo. So I finished this game solo on PlayStation 4. All right, and I finished this game first on PlayStation 4, even like when I got my PS5, because I wanted to platinum this game, which I did. I was able to platinum this game, and when I was going for the other two endings, I technically platinumed this game in a single playthrough. How you do that is by abusing what's it called? By abusing cloud saves. So by using cloud saves, you can it's possible to platinum this game. So yeah, and it's works with Xbox and on PlayStation, and I won't say Steam as well. It could be wrong on Steam because of like how they use cloud saves on there. But anyways, speaking of which, cloud saves should be available to all players, but that's just me. It shouldn't be a membership exclusive feature. But anyways, so yeah, so ran through this game solo. However, when I was going for the other two endings required for the platinum trophy, um, I did use Mimic Tier to fully maxed out Mimic Tier, just get the other two endings. However, my goal was to just finish the game. My goal wasn't to platinum the game solo. My goal was to just finish the game. So beat every boss required for the platinum trophy, as well as like other optional shit. Basically, run through this entire game solo. That was the goal. Not to platinum the game solo. It was to finish the game solo. So I felt like I earned that shit. But yeah, ran through this game solo, and needless to say, like some bosses, like Melania, the infamous Melania, felt so much more. I felt so much more. Um, I felt so much more accomplished beating that boss solo. Cause like the reason why I ran through this game solo was because compared to previous Soulsborne games, there would always be a few instances where I would summon a player or summon an NPC to help me beat a boss. With this game, I wanted to prove to myself that I could beat one of these games without having to rely on a player for like any bosses or anything. I wanted to prove to myself I could beat one of these games completely solo. And so when I finally beat that last boss, the Elden Beast, I finally laid down that when I finally landed the last hit on that boss. I had never felt so accomplished finishing a game in my life. Like, and I mean, it was like really late at night, and I didn't want to wake anyone up. So instead of just jumping up and yelling and screaming, saying, "Yes, I finished this game solo," no, I just kind of like froze up. Like this is gonna sound so dumb. I almost started crying because I felt like I accomplished something that I hadn't accomplished something that I for the longest time I didn't think I'd be able to do, and the fact I finally accomplished it with a Souls-like game just I felt such euphoric bliss, and I've had some tragedies in this game. The most infamous one for me. I'll briefly talk about this one real quick. So I was in the crumbling farm Azula, aka Hell, um, and I died. Had to go pick up what was it, like 130,000 plus runes, and which for those of you who haven't played this game, if you played the Soul series, it's basically this game's equivalent of the Souls from Dark Souls, or the Blood Echoes from Bloodborne. You get the point. So I had to go on a corpse run to go grab my runes, and my dumbass was low on health, and I was like by one of those enemies that can summon down beams of lightning. My dumbass starts dodge rolling as a enemy starts using and it starts calling down lightning, and I dodged roll into a bolt of lightning and died. And I nearly lost my fucking mind. So, like, I nearly started yelling and screaming. The only reason why I didn't do that was because I didn't want to wake anyone up. So, that's when I realized, or that's one of the things that made me realize I still have some semblance of common sense when I'm angry. but, um, but yeah, that was such a spirit breaker that I just closed the game and then I completely turned off my PS5 and just watched YouTube videos the rest of the night. I'm so done then. So done that night. It was horrible, but Elden Ring, amazing game. My game of the year. And if you guys wanted to see me do a playthrough of this game, I'd gladly do it. I'd gladly do a solo playthrough of this game for you guys because this game is just that good. So, like, make a brand new character and whatnot. So, and currently, I'm not in a huge rush to do it, but I am working on platinuming the PS5 version. I'm on New Game Plus, and any bosses that I struggle with, I'm just gonna use Mimic Tier. So again, I beat this game solo, so I earned it. I earned this shit. So, but yeah, I love Elden Ring. If you haven't played this game yet, it is a masterpiece. Highly recommend this. It is such a great game. Also, you can use those of you who are complaining about the difficulty in this game. Again, make a magic build. Level up vitality, vigor, whatever this game calls it. And then, as an extra measure, just use Ashen Remains. Especially get Mimic Tier and max that one out. Get Mimic Tier, max that one out, level up Vitality, and then make a magic build. Just tips if you don't want to struggle with this game all too much. So, but amazing game. Cannot recommend this game enough. Highly recommend it. You can get this on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC. I've heard the PC version has issues, but you can play it on PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox consoles. So if you have the choice, play it on PS. If you're gonna play it on a console, if you have the choice, play it on either PS5 or Xbox Series X. Because especially if you have a TV that supports VRR, you'll get better performance if you play it on the next gen consoles than if you play it on Xbox or on an Xbox One, especially base Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Base PS4 I found was tolerable, but after watching the Digital Foundry video, if you have the choice, do not play it on a base Xbox One. So, Xbox One X is tolerable from what I've seen, but yeah, just play it on the next gen consoles. If you don't have a TV that supports VRR, play the PS4 version on PlayStation 5. This may sound ass backwards, but hear me out for a second. The game runs at locked 60 frames per second if you play the PS4 version on PS5. As weird as that may sound, it really works. So it plays beautifully. So it will not look as good if you were playing the PS compared to if you were playing the PS5 version. But if you want the best performance and you don't have a TV that supports VRR, which would eliminate a lot of the frame rate issues, play the PS4 version on PS5. You get locked 60 FPS. So just a quick tip. So yeah, Elden Ring. That's my game of the year. So there you have it. That is my my top 20. No. That is my favorite games of 2022. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below what your guys' favorite game of 2022 was. Let me know. Give me, like, whether it's a top 10 or just tell me what was your game of the year last year. Just let me know in the comment section below. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next video. I'm CoffinSkate signing off, and have a great rest of your day.